Here goes Van der Poel, and no one could follow him. That's what it feels like when Mathieu Van der Poel attacks.
And here comes the attack of Mathieu Van der Poel. Big acceleration by Van der Poel as he tries to get Betty. Oh, Van der Poel with a rocket attack. Here he goes, gritted teeth. Van der Poel is putting everybody in the shade.
It's not a move, it's a detonation. 1 second, the pack is together. The next, they're scattered to follow him. From brutal cobbles of Paris-Roubaix to the legendary climbs of the Tour de France, every time he goes, it is goosebumps. But out of all of his savage strikes, which one stands above the rest? Number 1, Tour de France, Stage 2, 2025.
Here comes a bunch sprint just behind Jonathan Milan and Biniam Girmay going shoulder to shoulder, and the yellow jersey comes through as well, and so does Tim Merlier. Whoa, there's a big fight here. Milan and Girmay, a massive argument.
This was the 112th edition of the Tour de France, starting in Lauen-Planck and finishing in Boulogne-sur-Mer. 209 kilometers into the stage, the front group was stacked with giants. But on the final ramp, Van der Poel launched like a slingshot.
Vingegaard starts to strike now. Big acceleration of Jonas Vingegaard as he starts the acceleration to go downhill now and put everyone under pressure.
Here goes Vauclin for the third or fourth time. Jorgensen straight on the wheel.
Vauclin takes another opportunity. Jorgensen straight away. Only tries to close the gap. 4.3 kilometers of racing to go.
He blasted past Pogačar, held off Vingegaard, and took his first Tour stage win since 2021.
Van der Poel now starts to open it up. It is such an elite group of riders. Moving up, Alaphilippe onto the wheel of Tadej Pogačar. Vingegaard moves up on the left-hand side. There goes Mathieu Van der Poel. Van der Poel starts the acceleration. He sees the gantry in front of him. It's going to be all out between Van der Poel and Pogačar. Van der Poel and Pogačar, left, right. Van der Poel!
The yellow jersey back on his shoulders. Message sent. He is still the boss. But just months earlier, he proved his kick isn't just for France, it is lethal in Italy too. Number 2, 2025 Milano-San Remo men's race.
Including Lubert, Verre, Marcellusi, Turconi at 19. The youngest rider in the race was Sylvain Dillier. Over the Turchino they went, onto the Riviera, into the final 80 Ks, and nobody wanted to come and help the main man from the main team that had won the race in the last few years.
Now this was the 116th edition of the La Classissima, a one-day monument race covering 289 kilometers from Pavia to San Remo. Pogačar had thrown everything at the Cipressa and Poggio, but Van der Poel stuck like glue.
And what is normally the battle for the most famous 15 minutes of the cycling season was rather subdued. The Poggio, though, produced more fireworks. Pogačar again going. Not once, not twice, at least 3 times. But he could not distance Van der Poel.
300 meters to go, he opened up. He took no hesitation, no second chances.
Inside the final kilometre, taking those last turns onto Via Roma, Ganna was back. How would his presence affect things? There was so much looking around, and it went down like this. It is Van der Poel who's gone at the front. Pogačar's taken the position at the back, but can they get him back? It is Van der Poel going all the way at the minute. Van der Poel's still there. Ganna trying to come around him. Mathieu Van der Poel's going to have it, and Mathieu Van der Poel does it yet again.
Second, Milano-San Remo title, and he had just beaten the best climber-sprinter combo in the world. From the smooth tarmac of Italy to the savage cobbles of France, it is the place where legends are made and bones are broken. Number 3, Paris-Roubaix 2025.
Art has finished on the podium twice.
I don't know if I'm in the shape of my life, but I'm definitely in the top shape, and I haven't been better ever in the classics, so I'm in a good position.
Roubaix is a different race than Flanders, for example.
This was a single-stage monument race covering 259.2 kilometers with 55.3 kilometers of cobblestone spread over 30 sectors, starting in Compiègne and finishing on the Velodrome in Roubaix. It began with Pogačar, who led the race, but Van der Poel attacked, built a huge gap, and even a late puncture couldn't stop him.
Including the famous Arenberg Trench and the Carrefour de l'Arbre, the tree crossroads 17 kilometers from the finish at Roubaix. Will the iconic velodrome see a sprint finish, or will one man break away and get the chance to savour the moment as the winner of the 2025 Paris-Roubaix? Pogačar and Pedersen at the front of the race in a lead group of some 15 riders. Van Aert and Stefan Kung, fifth the last 2 years, were not amongst them. Van der Poel certainly wasn't going to wait for them. He stepped up the pace again.
It was over a minute ahead of Pogačar, who had crashed on his debut.
Behind them, a group of 10, including Van Aert and Visma Lease Bike teammate Mathieu Brennan, kept up the pursuit. Lady Luck also has her say on who emerges unscathed from the Paris-Roubaix. 70 kilometers from the line, she clearly wasn't going to make it Pedersen's day. Denmark's former world champion suffering a puncture.
Historic third straight Roubaix win. Only 2 other men in history have done that. But if 2025 was history, 2024 was just pure mythology. Number 4, Paris-Roubaix 2024.
Van der Poel is in about 7th, and look at the way that everybody is desperately trying to get there.
But you come to a standstill.
Total standstill round that corner. Van der Poel comes out in 4th, muscles shaking all over the place. Van der Poel now goes to the front and puts on the hurt on everybody else.
This 121st edition of Paris-Roubaix covered 259.7 kilometers, featuring 55.7 kilometers of paved across 29 cobbled sectors. 60 kilometers to go, Mathieu van der Poel attacked.
A special Baltic made for this.
Here comes the world champion. Here comes the attack. Mathieu van der Poel. He launched from about 5 riders back, and here he goes. The rainbow band. It is Mathieu van der Poel at 61 kilometers an hour.
The rest of the race was just him versus the road. The wind roared, the cobbles rattled, but nothing slowed him down. It was a solo so dominant that it felt like a time trial to greatness.
Mathieu van der Poel, any moment now, will hear the eruption of an expectant crowd who are about to greet a world champion for the first time since 2018. As he comes in now, wow, the reception is absolutely electric. Mathieu van der Poel comes round the final bend in the rainbow jersey as the winner of the 121st Paris-Roubaix, with the crowd absolutely on their feet. It is rainbows in Roubaix.
And just a week before that, the cobbles had already felt his wrath. Number 5, Tour of Flanders 2024.
And Mathieu van der Poel, the world champion, pushed on. The rain came down, but it wasn't to be upon his parade. This was magnificent. Could he be caught?
This was the 108th edition of the Tour of Flanders, a monument classic covering 270.8 kilometers from Antwerp to Oudenaarde, featuring numerous cobbled climbs. The Kopperberg climb, slippery, savage, and sacred. Van der Poel attacked with 45 kilometers to go.
And ended up running away with it, it certainly looked like, with Mathieu van der Poel now kicking on, using his cyclocross skills to perfection on a skittery surface, putting down just enough power to stay on board, while others were having to unclip and run with their bikes. Who could possibly stay with him? Winner of the Droit d'Or, Matthieu Jorgensen, looked to be that man as he appeared over the rise.
The gap opened instantly and no one came in.
Podium places up for grabs for that group, and when the Flamme Rouge beckoned, Mathieu van der Poel, who later admitted that, quite frankly, he didn't know what his battle plan was at this point, said it was the toughest day that he'd had at Flanders, and now crossing the line with the rainbow jersey of the world champion on his back. He stopped up, raised his steed, and thanked the cycling gods.
Third Tour of Flanders title won in the hardest conditions. Now, of course, before the rainbow jersey, before the Triple Roubaix, he had to earn his stripes. Number 6, Road Race World Championships 2023.
We are being treated to an absolutely fantastic race. Big attack from Mathieu van der Poel as onto the wheel goes Wout van Aert. So Van der Poel has decided this is the point in the race where you need to keep attacking.
The Men Elite Road Race at the 2023 UCI Cycling World Championships took place in Glasgow, Scotland, covering 271.1 kilometers. 22 kilometers to go, he attacked.
And here comes the attack of Mathieu van der Poel. Big acceleration by Van der Poel as he tries to get Betty. Oh, Van der Poel with a rocket attack. Here he goes, gritted teeth. Van der Poel is putting everybody in the shade.
And then he crashed on a slick corner.
Disappeared. Oh, crash of Van der Poel. Van der Poel crashes in that turn.
And gets up straight away.
He's going to get going.
But he's broken the shoe.
And the shoe has gone. You can see how much he's shaking after that crash. Battle scarred, ripped to pieces on his right-hand side.
He's done with it, bouncing up and down.
Mathieu van der Poel remounted, powered back, and made it to the finish line.
Drops because he cannot believe what he's just done. Now he starts to celebrate. Now he can calm down. Now he can start to drink in the feeling of being a world champion. This rider is class personified. He has ridden an incredible bike race from Edinburgh to Glasgow. A majestic performance, a majestic world champion. Victory for Van der Poel. He wins the world title in Glasgow.
Rainbow jersey secured. Cyclocross and road world champion all in the same year. Number 7, Paris-Roubaix 2023.
About everybody. Mathieu van der Poel was wise to it, as was Stefan Kung. John Degenkolb in there, as well as Van Aert and Laporte attacked, going into the famous Arenberg Trench.
This was the 120th edition, the fastest Paris-Roubaix in history, 46.8 kilometers per hour average, covering 256.6 kilometers. His victory was solidified when rival Wout van Aert suffered a late puncture, allowing Van der Poel to solo into the Roubaix Velodrome.
And Mathieu van der Poel were at the front of the race, but with 15.5 kilometers remaining, will not be losing the wheel. He'd also be losing the air in his back tyre. A puncture on Carrefour de l'Arbre, effectively ending his chances of winning the race and seeing Van der Poel ride away solo.
Now the cobbles became his playground, and it was his first Roubaix.
He finally realised what he'd done, and becoming just the 4th rider in history to win Paris-Roubaix and Milano-San Remo in the same season.
Number 8, Tour de France Stage 2 2021.
Into the last 20 kilometres and it was really hotting up. Alaphilippe up to the front, and then Mathieu van der Poel, having missed out on opening day, would attack looking for bonus seconds. 8, 5 and 2 seconds available at the top of the first passage of the finish line.
This stage of the Tour de France covered 183.5 kilometers from Perros-Guirec to Mur de Breton. And Van der Poel attacked twice on the Mur.
Hot on his heels was Van der Poel again. He waited, but not for too long. Inside the final kilometre, and there was the move, going after Sonny Colbrelli, the Italian champion. Van der Poel again showing he was the strongest. Pogacar once more watching Roglic, and everyone else forced to watch as Mathieu van der Poel went ahead and attacked.
Here he is approaching the finish line faster than ever.
He'd open up a gap. He rode for every single second, the yellow jersey on his mind, and into the yellow jersey he'd ride. Pointing to the sky, dedicating the victory to his late grandfather Raymond Poulidor, and Mathieu van der Poel managing to do on just his second stage in the Tour.
Tears at the finish, because this was more than just a win. So, which moment gave you goosebumps? The 60-kilometer solo in Roubaix, the rainbow ride in Glasgow, or that emotional yellow jersey in 2021? Let me know down in the comments, because legends like MVDP make us all believe in the impossible. Now click on the screen right now for the next video, as you won't believe what is coming.